did your parents react to it at first?
Because it was, an extended period of time where I was learning about Islam. I studied for about 2 years. All the while, I talked to my parents about it, and they could see that I was excited about it. And alhamdulillah, I have wonderful, wonderful parents who have been...
I've met them. They're awesome.
Incredibly supportive.
Mashallah.
So they weren't super surprised when I told them. The night before I took my shahada, I called my mom really late at night, and she said, "Are you sure? Like, don't rush into it." But I was sure, because UConn was having Islam Awareness Week, and the final event was a revert panel. And so I sat and I was able to listen to the stories of people who converted to Islam, who reverted, and hearing that made me think, if they can do it, I can too. But I still had that thought in my head of, maybe you're not fully ready. So I went to the mosque, and it was late at night, so no one was there, the Islamic Center. And so I left the lights off, and by this time I had learned how to pray. So I said, I'm just going to pray, and I'm going to ask for help, and knowing that this is the right thing. And, as I was praying, I was in sujood, and I kept saying, Allah, like, please make this easy for me, and help me to know that this is the right thing. And at that moment, someone walked into the mosque, and they turned the light on, and it was the light right above my head.
Oh, how fun is that?
And
Do you ever see the guy that embraced Islam? He's the Australian.
I know.
I love
Such a
that
good
video. That when I read that, I was like, oh, that's so funny, and it's like right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I'll link that down below if you don't know what we're talking about. Okay, so your parents were cool with it, and then you took it. Did you take your shahada by yourself?
I took my shahada at Juma prayer at the Islamic Center at UConn the next day.
Okay.
And I didn't want to do it in front of everyone. You know, they kept saying, oh, you can take the microphone, you can say it. And I said, no, it's too much of an audience. And I really wanted my first prayer, my first one. I mean, I was praying before that, but I wanted my first official prayer to be my Juma prayer. And it was beautiful because...
were you in the front row for Juma then?
Well, for the sisters, there was only one row.
There's row.
But yeah. But what was really nice is that the imam, made a really, really beautiful dua for me that the entire congregation, kept saying Ameen to.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
My first prayer, I actually couldn't make prayer after my shahada because I was stranded. Because I did it my wedding day, remember? And then I was stranded. And then I ended up having to, bulk them up the whole next day because we didn't get home until... Man. So mine was a little bit delayed. So then your whole... what happened next after you became Muslim?
I took my shahada the spring semester of my master's year. And before that, I knew for a long time that I wanted to become Muslim. I just kept putting it off.
Right.
And so to kind of help me, I did some research, and I accepted a teaching position in Kuwait for a year. And so I was accepted...
What kind of teacher are you?
Special education.
Isn't that awesome? Mashallah.
With my little babies.
Yeah.
I have kindergarten to 4th graders. So they're little enough where I can get the hugs and the I love yous and the I hate yous, I love yous.
You're a beast. What was that? What was it again?
I hope you turn into a hideous beast. And then quickly change to I love you. No, I really do love you. But
so adorable.
I can talk about my students forever.
I know, they're so cute.
But I moved to Kuwait, hoping that it would help me to be part of the majority, to be surrounded around Muslims.
Yeah.
And it really did. It helped me because I was independent. I was able to practice by myself and to not feel any pressure from anyone that knew me. And I was able to connect with Islam in a way that I might not have been able to if I had been in a different situation.
I think my first time was at ICNA around so many Muslims. This is the first time ever, being amongst majority and not sticking out.
Great?
Oh man, it's the best feeling. It's so good because you're not a sore thumb. You're there. Everyone's there. The same thing. Oh, it has this wonderful sense of community that I've never felt before.
Asr prayer, and this boy comes up to me. He's like, the imam's gonna come and see you. And I'm just like, okay, thank you. And I'm like, just sitting there really nervous, just kind of like, all right. And then finally, one of the men who works there, who's not actually the imam,